everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have a really sweet card for you today, but before I get going on it, I want to just point out a couple of things. One, I will start mailing these catalogs out the end of this week. So if you don't have a demonstrator sending you one and you're in the US, let me know. I'd be happy to add you to my list. The first copy is always free, and then after that, if you've ordered from me since June, you will be getting one in the mail soon, depending on what part of the ordering. If you're in club, they'll go with your club order. If you're getting a thank you gift, they go with that. If you're getting a free card class, they go with that. It takes, to be honest, it's a little bit much for my brain. A lot of spreadsheets, a lot of making sure that y'all don't get them twice and that kind of stuff. So it is a job, definitely, to get those all out to you. So today, Monday, the 5th, is the last day that you can get this free card class. So you can go over and watch this video and find out how to get the supplies to make these cards for free. And then tomorrow on the 6th, I will do another free card class. I don't know what I'm going to do because I'm going to check the list of the stuff that's on sale and try to find something that's still in stock. Then you have till the 10th of this month to sign up or subscribe to my card club. It's an online card club. This is our first project that we'll be making this month. And then this, you'll want to watch this video. This is the exact same supplies. I know it doesn't look like it. I just switched out the stamp sets. So this month in card club, we're using the Cottage Rose. This is a new, it starts with a B. I don't remember the name. It's a new free celebration stamp set. If you watch the video, it's on there. But it's the exact same supply. So in Card Club, I like to show them, if they don't get this set that month, other alternate ideas that they can use with the things that I'm mailing them. And it kind of works for the card classes that I'm doing this month too. The card class is just kind of something I'm trying for December. So I don't have any other classes, and I'm tying my thank you gifts into the card classes. So it's just a little bit of a different thing for December. I take the 2 weeks of Christmas, like the week before and the week between Christmas and New Year's off. So I'm trying to, well, I say off, I'll be working on Try It class, which is where this leads me. Today, I'm going to be using Lighting the Way. This is a new bundle. Here's the dies that I haven't used. A lot of them are on today's card, but this is a bundle that's in that new catalog starting in January. It starts January 5th. Super sweet little set. The images are beautiful. I tried to get all of it on there because, you know, when you want everything because it's new and you just want to see it all. I did scale it back a little bit, and then I figured out a way to scale it back but still use it. So you're going to see how I did that. But tomorrow, the 5th, is also, maybe it's the 6th. Today's the 5th. Tomorrow's the 6th. The 6th is the last day that you can get early bird for my Try It class, which we'll talk about a little bit about that as we go. I have used some specialty papers. Now, my Try It class that I just said the early bird registration ends tomorrow. It's over half full. The registration will end at the end of the month if it hasn't filled by then. But in that class, we make 12 projects. And each one has new papers. You'll get all of the new embellishments, you know, one of each to put on a project. You'll see all of the new ribbon. And sometimes to get the specialty papers on there, because they're all designed around designer series papers. So, and you get some new dies that I've run out through for you. You'll get some punches. So some of your things will have new folders on them. So right now I'm in kind of the figuring out how to tie it all together. So I worked with these two papers, and I'm just going to show you the two sheets that I used out of them. This is one of the new shimmer cardstocks, and you can see it's white. And then this is like a shimmer cardstock as well. It's super hard. This is the one, if you watched, I did a demonstration at our onstage event in November, and this is one of the papers that was in my suite. It's in the Flora suite. It's really hard. So I kind of wanted to be able to play with it, and I also wanted to kind of see how this lantern, and these are the other colors, in Try It class, I show you everything. So you'll get to see everything, and then a lot of it comes in your packet. Obviously, you don't get a sheet of every last thing, but you get to see it all, and then you'll get to play with it all. But I wanted to see how these dies cut out, because when you're cutting hundreds of dies, you want the ones that cut out the easiest. So I went with this gold shimmer paper, and I'm going to cut this for you so you can kind of hear the difference. This, I just put this on here. Obviously, when you have new paper, and during pre-order, demonstrators can get stuff ahead of time, but we can't get massive quantities. Like, there's a limit to how much we can get. So it's hard. And I wanted to make sure that the lantern was gonna cut if I do decide to put that on a project. like I said, still in the planning phases. And then this, I'm going to do one of the lightning bugs through. There's like a lightning bug builder. And I may have put mine together wrong. Here's the thing, when I get new stuff, I don't look at the catalog because I don't want to use somebody else's ideas when I create. And so I was thinking it was a bee, and then I think maybe it's a lightning bug. So here's the thicker paper, and this is that lantern. It's so super fun. We've never had anything kind of like this before. So I'm just gonna roll it front and back. And you can see that punched. So front and back is something that I would do for a class. If I have to do it more than that, because you know, some dies are just more detailed, but this is, while it's detailed, you can see that everything's just popping right out of it. Even though this paper's super thick, because it didn't cut great on the big backing that is part of that suite that I use, the one that's an entire piece of stuff. So here is the little textured piece, and here is either a bee or lightning bug. Now with this, I did find that it worked better. But with this, you see how it has those grooves in it? So I just made sure my die was on here straight, because I didn't want my grooves going counterclockwise. But now I'm thinking that maybe that light goes behind the bug, if it's a lightning bug. Of course, you have to live in some place that has lightning bugs to know how their little lights light up, right? So just pop these out. Oh, maybe they're gonna fall out. Maybe I didn't even need to pick this up. So on this card, I will mount it the other way. I think it could probably be a bee, but you know, it says thanks for lighting the way. Let's see, if we do it like that, yeah, maybe. I'm gonna try to color it a little bit different too, to kind of make it be a little bit more obvious. And then for my final piece, these were another piece, because it comes with 3 of these little lightning bugs or bees. I mean, these you could easily color to be bees or any other kind of bug. This is just a piece of shimmer white. And because there's 3 of them, I could run them through less times and you could get them in your class. So let me run these through out of this just scrap piece of shimmer white. Look how pretty this is. I'm gonna put it over in this light. It's just a really pretty shimmery paper, but unlike anything that we've ever had before, as is this one, because you can see with the lines and the shimmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this together so it can dry for a little bit before I mount it to the card. So like I said, I tried to get as much as I could on the card. And so the way that I found that it went on without overwhelming the card was to keep it all in these light colors. But I wanted this one to kind of be the focal point. So I'm gonna color it a little bit different than I did before. So I just have 2 blends, a yellow and a gray. You could really go with any color. But on this one, I'm just gonna color this, and we'll pretend that this is the lightning bug part. And then over here, I'm just gonna take my brush tip and just brush it on here. This is dark smoky slate, I think. Yeah. On its little body and its antenna. For those of you that don't like to put bugs on your cards, if you don't live where there's lightning bugs are the bomb. There's nothing more summerish if you live in the Midwest than a lightning bug. I'm gonna take my 2-way glue, and then let's see, I'm gonna stick, I have to think about this if I'm doing it different than I did before. I'm gonna stick that back there. And then after I do this, I will look at the catalog and I'll see if there's one of those in there. Sometimes that, you know, not all of the dies are in there, so it doesn't even matter if I wait and look. Yes, there we go. Now she's a lightning bug. On my other card, she's the bee. And bees are not scary to me either. We have a bee house. We have a couple of bee houses here. And if you have a bee house with pollinator bees and you have a garden, your garden will grow much better. And the pollinator bees don't sting. So there you go. A little bit of gardening knowledge for you today. So I'm going to just set that aside and let that dry. It just needs to set so I can put it on the card. Then I'm going to work with shimmer white. And the first time I did it, I didn't emboss. And for one, it was, the words weren't strong enough. I think I threw it in the trash, which I debated whether or not to because it was on the vellum, but, and it's not, I pulled the bug off of there. So I'm not quite sure how I have 2 of those things cut out. So the words were not dark enough and the bees were too dark. So it wasn't a great match. So this time I am going to put my saying down here. I do it first because, you know, If you do it crooked or it doesn't stamp well and it's the words, that's the most important part of getting something stamped correctly, because this next bit's going to be just highlights. It's kind of making your own designer series paper. I'm going to put my words on here. And I do have my tray, but I'm going from black powder to clear powder, which you can do, but when you're doing it on a video, I don't want to take the time to clean my tray out. And I don't want to get black in my clear powder. So I'm going to heat this. And I'm going to go from embossing to a little bit of just regular ink. I'm going to use Smoky Slate. The reason I'm doing it in this order is because I want the next step to be over the top of this, and I did this first so I would know where I'm stamping. So there's like this little swarmish of bees or lightning bugs or whatever they are. And I'm just going to kind of add them so they go. Now, I couldn't tell which direction was up and which direction was down, so I just kind of made a little pattern both ways. Because I want them to all be where something's lighting the way. So there they go. And now the next steps that I do, it will be underneath. And now I am going to use my tray. And there are 3 bugs in here. And I want them to be in the clear powder. So on the other one, I only did 3. This one, I'm going to do a couple more, I think. But when I stamped these, I think I did them in saffron or daffodil the first time. It was just too much on the card. So we've got those 3. And when I tilt them in my light, I can kind of see. Now my lantern's going to go in the middle. So I'm going to do a couple more. There's like a small, a medium, and a large. And I'm just going to add these there. So I want the illusion of bees. It's kind of like when you buy any of our specialty papers that have the luster to them, the pearl, where it just kind of hints at something. And it may catch some of my swarm, but that's okay. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. So there's those. Now you can see that there's those illusions of the fireflies back there, but they're not detracting from my main image, which is coming. So now we have our lantern. I'm gonna put it here, and I want it to be lit, right? So I want it to light up. But I was like, how do I get it so the light is gonna be right behind here? And I did think about putting window sheet in it, but I felt like there was enough going on this card that it didn't need it. I'm just gonna poke a little hole right there. And then that will tell me where I want to put my light. So for this one, I wanted the light to be as bright as everything else on the card. So now that we've embossed, we have to kind of give it its own special little twist as well. So here is the light. I'm using daffodil, and there's a big circle. And then there's a little circle, and I'm just aiming right over the top of that little hole that I punched in there. I'm going to do my little circle 3 times. And I did the big one 1. And then I'm going to take this because I want it to also look shiny and shimmery. So add that. Look how pretty this is going to be. But I want it to be a little bit more brighter because now it's kind of on the same level as the other things that are embossed. And I want the light to be, it says, thanks for lighting the way. I want that to be the focal point. So I'm just going to go back and take the same stamp, and I'm going to do the exact same thing again. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's a light, so it's glowing. So I've got one there. And this will just kind of darken it up just a little bit. I'm going to do this one 3 times. And again, I'm going to pour the powder on. And this time I'm going to kind of just leave a little bit more powder there. Kind of shake it around and not let it fall off. just like that. But now I'm going to have to heat it from the bottom, because if I put my heat tool right there, it's just going to blow it all away. Even though these hardly have any air, when you do something like this, you're like, oh, it had more air than I thought it did. But it'll melt from down here. See it spread? And now it has that really cool glow. It kind of, without the window sheet, it kind of puts a little bit of window on our lantern. Then for my ribbon, at first I wasn't going to put ribbon, because the first time I did the card, there was too much going on. But it really needed something, because I love ribbon on my cards. So I have the frayed ribbon, and I'm going to just cut it the length of this, which you could just leave it like that, and it would be pretty like this. So I'm going to just trim that out. And then I'm going to take it and cut it in half. So I have another half. I do know that I have a half of this. I'm still really confused about my other set of lightning bugs. I just have no recollection of cutting those out. But it was late and it was Sunday, and I was determined to get one thing. I don't usually work on Sundays, but I decided I would get one thing knocked out. Apparently, I was the one that was knocked out. So now you have half a strip of this. So you want to pull this out a few at a time, and then just kind of lay those there. And some of them you can see are shorter than the others, wherever I didn't cut exceedingly straight. So I'm just going to lay those there. A little bit of static in my house, you think? Oh, Summer, where are you? So now I have this piece here, and then I have this little group of stuff over here, and a little bit of a mess. It is a tad bit of a messy technique, but it adds just enough to this card that we have ribbon without having like, oh, there's ribbon on this card, detracting from everything else. So take this bit here, and you don't have to have all of them. So if you lose some, and you know those little short bits where I cut crooked. So I have this, and then I'm just going to go towards up here towards the top. So just tie that around, shove them all through. If they don't all go, then just trim off the ones that don't go through. Kind of hold this in place. And then one tight knot, and it's held perfectly. You don't have to do anything else. So there's our ribbon. So now we have a nice fluffy ribbon on here, but it isn't on the card and it's not taking away from it. Now we just have to put it together. So this is basic gray. I have embossing powder on the table because I chose not to use my tray for the black. So now there's a little bit of black. It's okay. And I'm just gonna use my liquid glue on this whole card. So first I'm gonna add this, and then I'm gonna take and put, I think on my other one I did it on the ribbon, but since I've already got it going here on the card, we can do it that way too. So just make sure there's some glue over here where your ribbon's gonna go. And then put this on here. And you can see that I cut my card knowing that this ribbon was gonna go over on the edge. And then I'm going to do it so the frays stick out. Just kind of start at the top, and then I did enough that I can trim it. Just push all that down. This is why I'm impatient, and the glue, while it sticks wonderfully well, is not great for those of us that are impatient, because I don't like to sit here. So I move to my block. I use my blocks for this more than anything else. Well, that's it looks like it's dirty, but it's back when we had Pearl-Ex and I used it for a thing. It just hasn't come off. I haven't figured out a good way to get that off of there. So now let's go back over to, here's our lightning bug. So now the end of her is just lit up. You could put a little gem or something on there, except that I'm going to use these. So like I said, in Try It class, you will get all of the new embellishments. In some way, we'll put them on each of the 12 cards. Will have a new embellishment. So these are the adhesive backed milky dots. How pretty those are. So it looks like it's clear, maybe petal pink, navy, and then the gold. So the clear and the gold were perfect for this card. That should be enough. Yep. You just need a second for those. Put your lantern on first because it's the biggest. I'm going to switch tips of my liquid glue. And it doesn't need everywhere because, you know, this stuff is super sticky. And if you put glue everywhere, then you don't have any place when you do this part to flip it over. So I know there's no glue on this. And then that little hole that's right there, I can cover it up with that. So you can see it would be cute if you had window sheet on it. And then this, I want all that fray down there, but then this fray up here. On a different card, I might want it. On this card, I just want a little bit. So I'm gonna just take this and trim that off. And trim these. This pair of scissors needs to be sharpened. There we go. And it's all frayy, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to set that block back on here when I'm done because some of this is lifting up. Now you want to start with your biggest embellishment, which is this lightning bug, and she's the one that's lighting the way. So add her there. And then remember we have these little shimmer ones. So now I was able to get them before when I stamped them, and then I had these. There was just lots of bugs on the card, and it was too much with the lantern as well. Now I could have taken the lantern off and just done bugs and it probably would have been okay, but that lantern is super cool. Add these and kind of wherever you kind of feel the need to put them. And remember, they're kind of going this way because she's lighting the way. And then we'll just add our gems. And I am going to add 5, and there's 2 sizes. So I'm gonna go with my big ones first and then my small ones as they get farther away. Here's a gold one. And if you have any splotches on your card that you wanna cover up, this is the time to use your gems as a splotch cover. Because you know, sometimes when we heat emboss, it can get a little splotchy. A little bit of black was right there. And then let's go to small ones. These are beautiful gems. You will love these. I haven't decided yet. I have no idea what card club's gonna be in January because there's just so many fun things to pick from. Let's go there with that one. So this one does need to have my block on it for a minute to kind of flatten everything back out. Here's the other one. So even though you do some kind of weird techniques on this one, it's one card where it's pretty much gonna look the same every time you did it. I can't wait to work more with this set. And one thing with the catalog now, it will start in January, it ends in April. To me, this is a little bit more of a summer set. It may make it into the annual catalog, but don't think, oh, it'll be great for camping and scrapbooking pages in the summer because it's only going to be available until April. We may, as I do this and I kind of play with stuff, I'm also deciding, you know, what I'm going to have in my winter retreat. And even though it's a winter retreat, we'll be working on spring projects because, you know, we kind of do winter. Excuse me, I'm getting my phone folder. We do winter as Christmas. And so by the time January comes, I may do a snow card here and there, but I'm really ready for the warm weather and the flowers to come back and my bees and the lightning bugs. So there you go. If you're interested in my free card class, today is the last day. Tomorrow is the last day to get the early bird for Try It. You can sign up through the end of the month, but you save money if you do it now. So go ahead and do it now. And then the 10th is the last day to get in on this month's card club. Have a great one. Bye.